Hello and welcome to OK Boomer. I'm your host, Scott Zimmerman. And now it's time for our headlines. Looks like an illegal immigrant freed under New York City sanctuary law charged with murdering an elderly woman. An illegal immigrant was freed in November. He's allegedly to have sexually assaulted and murdered a 92-year-old woman. Now, ICE revealed this week that it had issued a detainer, basically a request that ICE be alerted of an illegal immigrant's release from custody so they can be transferred to ICE custody and go through the deportation process. So the New York PD followed the city's sanctuary policy instead, which limits the cooperation with the federal immigration authorities and means that most detainers are ignored, and they went ahead and released him without informing ICE. Okay, Boomer. I don't really have a joke about this situation, but I do have an observation about the many layers of bureaucracy here. This is just another example of two government organizations who can't seem to get their act together and figure out how to actually work together. I want to point out that ICE issued a blanket detainer requesting that any illegal immigrants released from custody be transferred to ICE to be deported. The New York PD, under the protection of the new sanctuary laws, were like, that sounds like a lot of paperwork, so nah, we're not going to do that. So here's the deal. Rhys Khan, he was originally arrested for beating up his father back in November. He told cops about his uncontrollable urges and that he was abused his whole life, and he was upset about his family moving to the US. Pretty much sounds like a cry for help to me. And instead of getting this dude the resources he needs, the New York PD set him free. Um, Keep in mind, this dude is only 21 years old. His frontal lobes, the part of the brain that controls the important cognitive skills in humans, such as emotional expression, problem solving, memory, language, judgment, and sexual behaviors. It is pretty much just the control panel of our personalities and our ability to communicate. His frontal lobes aren't even fully formed yet, and the New York PD basically ignored his cry for help and said, good luck. But that's not in the news. The news is the sanctuary law in New York City and the government blaming the government for things that the government has repeatedly proven it does, which is gross incompetence. With that said, if the New York PD had followed the command of the feds, would this lady still be alive today? Yeah, she probably would. But how many innocent freedom seekers need to get hemmed up in the webs of bureaucracy in our inefficient immigration system because of some government policy dispute? Just sounds like trouble to me. Also in the news today, the president is telling war stories at Mar-a-Lago. His ballroom there at his property. He claimed that Soleimani was saying very bad things about our country before the strike, which led his decision to authorize his killing. Trump did not describe any imminent threats that led to the decision to kill the Iranian official, which was the justification used by the administration after the attack. Instead, he described him as a noted terrorist who was on our list. That's right, folks. He was on the list.
He's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty and nice.
Okay, Boomer. I'm pretty sure I'm on that same list. Now, granted, I'm way further down on the list than some Iranian official, but still, I'm on the same list. And truth be told, if you're watching this, you are too. Now, looks like there was some Democratic debates this week. Surprisingly, there's very little coverage on your news websites about it, though. I assume it was a handful of rich people telling us how they are going to use our money to make themselves even more rich. Apparently, Bernie called Liz a liar, and Liz called him out on it after the debates. Bernie defended his actions by saying that Liz called him a liar, and they didn't shake hands. And them not shaking hands after the debate is your headline. So I would like to remind them that they are all liars, except for Mayor Pete, but I'm pretty sure he's lizard people, so there's that. Looks like Trump's Twitter tweet has once again caught some headlines. Apparently, he retweeted a meme where Pelosi and Schumer are pictured sporting Iranian gear and posing in front of the Iranian flag. Shots fired, Trump. Okay, Boomer. Trump really wants a war. If he can't go to war with Iran, I guess he's going to settle for a meme war with the Democrats. As a veteran of the great meme war of 2016, I will be first to remind you all that the left can't meme. And as I've seen on the front lines, no offense, but boomers can't meme either. So do us all a favor, stay out of it, and start a blog or something. I recommend www.boomerthoughts.com. That's your news for today. Until next time, I'm your host, Scott Zimmerman.